Rather lovely, the ship, is it not?
It's a little on the smaller side. It's not as grand as last summer.
The staff seem quite alright. We have everything we need. I don't see why you're complaining.
Quite alright? How are you now settling for quite alright? It's not the standard we're used to, are we? Father would have...
Father is not here. Why should we indulge as much as he did?
Mother, he didn't indulge. He said it was necessary to keep us happy. Why won't you do that for me now?
I will not spend your inheritance on a brief holiday.
I thought it was expected that we should live in luxury.
You'll be grateful for what you've been given. We will have a pleasant holiday together and you'll forget about the last couple of months that have weighed us so heavily down.
Very well. I'll enjoy it as much as I can. It's nice to be with you, Jack, away from everything.
It is. Where is Jack? He should be finished with the tour of the boat by now.
He should be here in a moment. Would you like a drink before we wait on it?
That would be lovely.
I see you two are hard at work examining the wine cupboard.
How was the tour, darling?
The boat is rather lovely, much nicer than the ones I'm used to sailing in.
If you bought a ship like this for us, we'd have the most romantic of adventures.
One day, Bella. You know how it is to be in the military.
Yes, of course.
Your room, have you seen it yet?
No, not yet.
I can take you there. I do know my way around the ship now.
That's a kind gesture, but Bella and I were having a moment of peace before the ship disembarked.
You know how Mother gets when the ship starts moving.
Oh, Bella, I just wanted a calm start to our holiday.
And that you'll have. How about toast? To the Brown family?
Why don't we go out onto the decking? It's much cooler out there.
That would be nice.
Arabella! Darling, you know you're happy to see me.
Why are you here?
Why? Because I can never stay home alone and then you spend so long here with him.
You truly believe I am safer with you than I am with him?
I know you, Bella. I know that...
Don't call me that.
Bella, you know all I want is to see you happy. You know all I want is to keep you protected. You know all I want is you.
Stay back.
Don't try and act like some victim.
I will call the police.
And why haven't you already? In fact, why didn't you call them back home? Oh. You like this, don't you? You like me chasing you. You are pathetic.
I never asked for any of this. Why do you continue to call me?
Because I love you!
You don't love me! You're psychotic.
Here, take this letter. It will prove my feelings for you.
Arabella, will you join us? The wind is not so bad out there.
Arabella? My God!
I'm Detective Morris, and this is Officer Lee. We will be working on this case until the ship reaches land. My condolences for your loss. Now, it is true that there has been a murder in this very lounge. And as Detective Sergeant as I am, it is crucial that I get to the very bottom of this case and find the true motive of the very villain that murdered this young woman. Now, to start the investigation, I will first need to
take down the names of everyone that was in contact with the victim before her murder.
Yes, I will start by doing that. Now, I wonder where I put my journal.
It's in your pocket, sir.
Oh! Oh. Yes, there it is.
If we start with you,
Mrs. Brown, Elizabeth Brown, I was her mother.
I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
Is it really necessary we burden this poor woman with questions right after her daughter's just passed?
I'm sorry, but we must simply get to the bottom of this case hastily. Once the ship pulls into shore, many people will join hands to leave the boat. It will be highly unlikely that we will catch them then. Sorry, I didn't quite catch your name?
General Jack Woods, Arabella's fiance.
General, where do you get a rank like that?
I was enlisted in the British Army for the war.
So I assume you know your way around a revolver?
I know more than my way around them. Some see them as a violent creation. However, I feel more at peace than I ever would not having it.
Your revolver?
Indeed. I don't go anywhere without it.
And you had this revolver on your person at the time of the murder?
I very well did. Though I hope not just suggesting that I did this. I was on the deck with Mrs. Brown at the time of the murder.
And no one else spoken with Arabella before her death?
No, definitely not. She didn't even speak to the servant with our luggage.
Now, this has been lovely. We really must get going.
Before you leave, Mr. Woods, do you happen to recognise this?
To Miss Arabella Brown. Miss Arabella, you are a beautiful lady and a beautiful person. I really and truly am in love with you. Please believe in life and in love and trust in yourself, and your friends, and trust in God. Miss Arabella, you are a special person with a wonderful gift. Please keep singing and helping people to be happy. And most of all, Miss Arabella, please keep smiling. No, I would not say I have.
And you?
No, I have not.
That is very interesting.
Yes, very, very interesting. Why is that interesting?
As you both said, Arabella Brown did not converse with anyone apart from the two of you, as her luggage had been taken straight to your shared room. That would mean that only the two of you had the chance to give her the letter. But it would not have been suspicious for you, Mr. Woods, to have given her the letter. But as you so quickly denied it, one can assume that this letter was not written by you. What I believe to have happened between you, the letter, and Mrs. Brown is that you found the letter amongst her Miss Brown's belongings and detected that she was having an affair, presumably while you were away in the army. You, of course, furious, wanted to get revenge with the revolver that you kept on your body. So you waited until Miss Arabella was alone and unsuspecting before shooting her, leaving her to die alone, before walking back into the scene pretending to find her body with Miss Brown.
This deduction of yours is very imaginative, but as I have already told you, I was on the deck with Mrs. Brown at the time of the murder. So, if you have no other pointless accusations, we'll be on our way.
I have to tell them.
Elizabeth,
Well, they'll find out eventually, will they not? Is it not better for them to hear it from me?
just think about this for a second.
There's nothing to think about. I cannot go on longer like this. I cannot carry the guilt around. It's a horrible subject. I try to dismiss it from my thoughts, but I simply cannot. It haunts me, being the cause of someone's death. How can one live with that? How do people live with it? Because I cannot, Jack. I cannot continue my silence, and I will not have you silence me.
Elizabeth,
No, you don't know what it's like. Always questioning whether it can be forgiven, or if there's no hope when God catches up to me. He won't forgive certainly can't. I'm a murderer, Jack. No one can save me now. I must own up to it. I cannot hold on to the guilt anymore. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Elizabeth Brown, you are under arrest for the murder of Miss Arabella Brown.
What on earth do you mean?
I just heard your little confession just now.
Confession? You thought I was talking about my daughter?
Well, as we are in the middle of a murder investigation.
You cannot be serious.
Okay, if that conversation was indeed not about Miss Brown, then who was it about? Mrs. Brown, who have you murdered?
It was my husband. It was not truly murder per se. That would imply there was planning and intention behind it. It was truly an act of self-defense. The court ruled me as innocent, but I've been carrying it with me ever since.
Why do you feel you have to defend yourself against him?
He was, of course, the head of the household. When we were younger, he was always so kind to me, always chivalrous, but youth doesn't last forever. Everything grows older and fragile, and they lose their beauty. I was always up to date with the housework, always had dinner ready when he came in from work, always cared for Arabella. But when one has a child, their body changes. I tried to hold on to one thing he cared for so much about, but it slipped out of my hands, and he blamed me for it. He would always question me why I couldn't look like how I did when we were first together. Then I learned he'd been unfaithful. He hit me the first time I questioned him about it. The abuse started to happen once a week. I knew when to expect it, and when it happened, I had to accept it. But then it happened more often. He came home one night after he'd been drinking, and as he hit me, his eyes were emotionless. No rage, no sadness, and no sympathy. He didn't stop. I knew that if I did not stop him then, I wouldn't make it to the next day. So I pushed him.
But if you could kill then, Mrs. Brown, who's to say you couldn't have killed your daughter?
Need I remind you of our alibis? You're wasting your time pointing this investigation at us. There's something you need to know.
Go on.
There was a man around Arabella just before she died. I thought it was nothing out of the ordinary. He must have just lived close by. So I found this. It's details of Arabella. Details too personal for anyone to know who's not close to or hasn't been watching her. I recognise the handwriting in it from the letter Officer Lee passed to me earlier. You should question him instead of tormenting a poor fragile woman.
We will find him. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Detective, this is...
Nicholas Diaz, son of William Diaz, Enter Diaz Limited.
Well, that is very impressive.
No pretentious lawyer to represent you? Why is that?
Because I don't need one.
And you're sure about that?
I'll save you the trouble. I was in the bar when the girl was shot. Ask any of the workers at the time.
I never mentioned her death.
What travels fast? I expect you to already know.
But why is that?
Is that not what all women do?
Write your name down on this piece of paper.
You can have my telephone too if you ask for it.
Just your name is fine.
I need a refill. Darling, would you do that for me?
I could do that for you.
What do you need this for anyways?
It's to get him talking.
Do you recognise these anywhere?
No, I don't. Why?
Don't lie to us, Mr. Diaz. Your handwriting's a perfect match. But can you tell us why you've been stalking this
Come on, stalking. It's a bit excessive, is it not?
You have a folder about personal information, Mr. Yes, and don't think Rosie and stalking is too insane!
Everything in that folder, she told me herself!
And how is it that she came to tell you this information?
Well, you know how women can be when their husbands are away for a long time.
And what you mean?
Arabella was alone, frightened. She needed someone.
She had an affair with you. That's when you found out the information?
She didn't have a hint of remorse for it either. She never did.
Until Jack came home?
She told him it was a mistake. The naive man didn't know her well enough to know it was a lie.
That must have hurt when she left. Hurt enough for you to want revenge?
She's not the innocent victim you think she is.
And how do you know that?
Shortly after things ended with her, I received this on my front doorstep.
Oh, we don't need to listen to that.
It could be helpful.
Arabella Brown is guilty of the following crime: that she brought about the death of Charles.
That is enough of that. How can we put our trust in a recording?
And you were aware of these accusations?
Growing up in a household like that, Arabella developed little empathy for anyone else. Poor Charles. He never stood up for himself. The constant comments got the better of him eventually. He took his own life when they were teens. Arabella never accepted any blame for the incident. She never did.
Detective?
You should listen to the rest of that tape.
Arabella Brown is guilty of the following crime: that she brought about the death of Charles Morris.
Morris?
You shouldn't have listened to that, Sophie.
Charles Morris. He was your son.
He was a bright young boy, destined for great things. He never had the chance to grow up. She took that chance away from him. They were teenagers, they all said. She didn't know what she was doing. But she was guilty. I was the one who found him. I found my son lying on the floor with a bullet in his head and a gun in his hands. I swore I'd kill her. And now I have. An eye for an eye. It was all so fun seeing how each of you reacted to being accused of murder. Oh, I knew not one of you would have the true motive to do it. All except you, Mr. Diaz.
Me?
This is what makes it all so easy. I will admit, I had my doubts when I was working with just Jack and Elizabeth, but then I heard about the stalker, his obsessive behaviour over her. No one will even doubt it wasn't you.
No, you can't! You can't make me take the blame!
No, of course not. Not while you're alive. So, that whiskey you were just drinking has poison in it. You'll be dead in a couple minutes, and when I find your body in the same place you killed Arabella, I will have found my murderer, and I will have the glory of solving the crime.
What about my alibi?
Oh, those bartenders really don't get paid enough. I'm sure some money under the table. Keep them silent.
You won't get away with this. I'll stop you.
You're just a police officer. Who will listen to you? After all, you don't know as much as a detective. And when the only fingerprints left on this glass are his, you won't have a leg to stand on. Row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
No!
this fabulous cast. Of course, none of this would be possible without some amazing people behind the scenes, so I'd like to read out a few thank yous. First, I'd like to thank the front of house people, Mrs. Euro and my mum helped, for their hard work before the show. I'd like to thank Malden Players for allowing me to borrow some of their costumes, set and props. Specifically, I'd like to thank Maxie and Toko for coming with me to sort them out. I also need to give a special thank you to Glenn. His amazing script work and directing over the years is what inspired me to give it a try. So thank you. I'd also like to thank a group of my great friends who came together to do a read through of the script in its early stages. Amy Cole, Evie Craddock, Lauren Summerfield, Daniel Smith and Frankie Bauer. Next, I would like to thank Arlo for making sure everything went smoothly backstage and everyone was in the wings when they needed to be. I would also like to thank Ed for not only helping me with feedback on my script, but also helping me start developing the sound of my play when I had no clue what I was doing. Nothing on this stage would have even been seen without the help of Oscar Ratcliffe, who has done the lighting for this play. I'd like to thank all of my amazing cast who have helped me bring my vision to life. You're all so talented and have been a pleasure to work with. Finally, if Mrs. Euro could come down for a sec. Where's Grace? Grace, come on. I've got some flowers for you, so thank you for everything. Even she wouldn't have happened without you, so thank you. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.
No. Oh, hi. I just want to say a massive thank you, don't we, guys? Yes. Smile. Look like you want to be here. To the wonderful Chloe, because she managed to put this whole shindig on, and it is honestly a very, very impressive thing, and she's been stressed out of her mind, but she's done such an amazing job, and so we wanted to give you this. So I just wanted to thank Chloe for all of her amazing hard work, because isn't she amazing?